going? It's that nerd Ryan here, and today we are going to be talking about Gremlins 2, the new batch, for movie night tonight. We're going to do this as movie night, so it's going to go through this plot, and then I'll talk about what I liked and what I didn't like, and everything like that. So I do want to address really quick that this movie is very fourth wall breaking. There is actually a scene where they actually break the fourth wall, but there's also a lot of commentary that kind of was awkward because it kind of made this movie feel like a criticism at people that were criticizing the first movie. But we'll get to that when we do. But I mean, we even start with a fourth wall break with the Warner Brothers logo, where it's given the Looney Tunes logo and Bugs gets thrown off by Daffy, who tries to take it over. Then, the editors hate Daffy, so Bugs takes it back, and then we get to the movie. I thought that was very random and odd, for a Gremlins movie to have the Looney Tunes do that, until I kept watching the movie and seeing how not serious it is. This movie is definitely a lot more goofy than the first movie, and I am fine with that. I actually think I'd enjoy this movie a lot more than the first movie. But yeah, so anyways, it takes place in New York. Surprisingly, we do have the original cast from the first movie showing up in this, from Billy and Phoebe, I think her name was, or that's the actress's name. But yeah, them showing back up, and then we also got the family that got attacked by the gremlin showing up. And we get a reference to the parents. The old Chinese man is in the beginning of the movie, but he passes away. But yeah, we get original cast and everything. I didn't expect that either. I thought this was going to be one of those sequels that basically introduced a whole new cast. But it doesn't. So anyways, this big rich person, Mr. Planck or something like that, he is trying to take over New York, basically, buying it out, making his industry humongous and everything. Turns out both our main characters do work for him. And he tries to buy out Chinatown. And in that, they end up taking Gizmo and taking him to a lab, which is run by Christopher Lee. We also get to catch up with everybody. Billy's moving up in the company. Phoebe Cates' character is just kind of staying where she's at, but also being a fiance to Billy, or girlfriend about to be fiance, because they kind of mention it at the end. But as that's happening, Billy kind of gets twisted into a workplace romance that he wants nothing a part of, which Phoebe Cates catches on to and takes it the wrong way. But also during this, by discovering a janitor that was whistling when he accidentally walked into the animal testing area, Billy notices the gremlin whistle and goes to check in and finds Gizmo. He takes Gizmo out and is going to smuggle him out for the rest of the day, but that's when he goes on his dinner date that he doesn't know is a date. So he tells his girlfriend to make sure to take Gizmo home. She obviously freaks out at this, oh my god, it's going to happen all over again. He's like, no, it's not going to happen all over again. Obviously, it is, because this is the movie. So during the day, Gizmo gets out and gets hit by water and releases, I think, 3 new gremlins. None of them have names, but one of them's kind of stupid. The other one kind of is a little more serious, and the other one's just a troublemaker. Unfortunately, she grabs the stupid one, and Gizmo is left behind. And in that, the gremlins start eating after midnight again, and transform, where they start torturing Gizmo. The two go back to try to basically trade off and try to make sure that they stop anything from happening. obviously it's too late. So these new gremlins that are also now transformed are running around finding ways to multiply and finding ways to change around. They first attack security and lights and everything, where Billy's direct boss, played by Tom Arnold, gets attacked, as well as all security, and they end up going up to the CEO's office and kind of warning him of everything. He already gets attacked too, but he kills a gremlin by shoving him in a paper shredder. And as they're discussing this, some of the gremlins get into the animal testing lab, where they take a bunch of like serums and potions and chemicals and stuff and start transforming. One transforms into a lightning gremlin, one into a bat gremlin, one a smart gremlin, and then the last one is a spider gremlin, which made me cringe. But the smart one also injects the bat one with like daylight formula that allows him to go out to New York. In this as well, he tries to attack the family from the first movie, where they basically cement him and he turns into a gargoyle, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, after that, they go in, and there's this is one of the fourth wall breaks. Is when the Gremlins transform and start taking over the building, somebody is reviewing the first Gremlins movies, or first Gremlin movie, and gets attacked and killed by the Gremlins. Also during this, they go through, they find one of their friends that was also introduced at the beginning of the movie, who was basically this old-time movie player guy who's trying to make a name for himself. Because this company, I guess, is in everything, and we get to see other stuff like their military-grade weapons and stuff like that. So it's almost like a playhouse for the Gremlins. But anyways, yeah, so they start trying to track down the Gremlins and everything, and all of a sudden it pulls a Batman Arkham Asylum of the movie glitching out, and then all of a sudden it pulls back, and the Gremlins are behind the screen messing with it, and then they put on like a nude beach movie, and we get guests walking out of the theater complaining and everything, and the chauffeur goes, "I'll handle this," walks over, finds Hulk Hogan, of all people, Hulk Hogan, and he stands up, he's like, "Hey, Gremlins! How dare you mess with this movie? People are here to see Gremlins too, not some nude beach movie. Turn it back on." Sorry, folks. We'll get back to the movie now. And then it cuts back. So that was another major fourth wall break. That was the major fourth wall break. But yeah, so they figure that the Gremlins are waiting till night to start running amok on New York, so they have to try to get them outside before night. How they do this is they tell the CEO to go down and basically hold a giant tapestry that has it as nighttime in the lobby and shoot the clock forward 3 hours for sunset and make them all think that the sun's about to set, and then let the sun hit them. That plan, which is also very stupid, backfires because of a storm, and also the Gremlins are a little bit smarter than that, especially the one that became smart. And we get to see some wacky stuff of like female Gremlins singing parties and like stuff like that down in the lobby. And then they mention something about like holidays. I can't remember distinctly. But then we get another like callback joke of the girl having an issue with holidays, and she gets like in a deep like, "Lincoln's birthday was the toughest day of my life." And I thought that was really, really funny because it was making fun of the fact of like how dramatic she was about Christmas in the first movie. But yeah, so basically what happens is they figure they'll use the electric gremlin to kill all the other gremlins. So they start spraying them all with water and then release the electric gremlin, melting them all. Gizmo survives, obviously. Gizmo actually gets like an action scene. He kind of becomes Rambo from watching Rambo. And he takes out the spider gremlin. I did forget to mention that. Sorry, this is like the movie night quick recap. I try not to say everything, but I do want to say Gizmo does get, like, tough in this, which is funny. But he survives. The CEO discovers Gizmo and also looks at a painting of the hometown for Billy, and he decides he wants to build a place like that and then do Gremlins merchandising, which I have a feeling is a joke about the first movie. Obviously, I wasn't alive during then, but considering how everybody reacted with this and how similar he looks to Gizmo, it had to be big. I mean, if you're watching this and you know for a fact, comment below if that is true. I have a feeling it is. But yeah, and then the movie ends. Gizmo's still living with Billy, everybody's happy, blah blah blah. So what I really liked about this movie was it didn't take itself seriously, and it was actually really funny. And it was poking fun at not only itself, but just culture in general. The stuff that I didn't like was I did feel like some of the gremlin transformations were overboard. Like the bat one, obviously the spider one with my arachnophobia. And I thought the smart one was okay, but after a while he kind of got sickening, and I forgot who it was. Because during the singing scene where they're singing New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, I was like, is that the smart gremlin? And then when he was dying, he had the creepy gremlin voice. It's like, okay, maybe that's not. So yeah, I kind of lost track of it. Also, not all the gremlins went away. There's one that stuck with Tom Arnold. So, like, it did feel a little unresolved, and I did feel like the CEO character was kind of dumb. But, yeah. So, I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I really liked it, and I'm happy they didn't make a sequel to this, but I wish there was more Gremlins content to watch. But yeah, we're going to get into something more serious for the next non-anime, non-DC movie night, and we're going to watch American Psycho. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan, signing off.